Oil prices end the week slightly higher, getting to 67.18. It's about 14 cents higher than last Friday's settle, although both this week and last week saw oil prices decline to just shy of $65. Yeah, oil hasn't traded below $65 a barrel since going back to May of 23. And then looking at the weekly settles, last week of 67.04 and this week of 67.18, those would be the lowest since March of 2023 on a weekly basis. So obviously oil prices are moving lower, seeing a bit of a bounce off those lows like we did last week. We saw it again this week. Rig counts came in unchanged at about 595. That's up from January, but pretty much unchanged over the last several weeks. Likewise, we continue to watch the supply numbers as they will, again, put pressure on prices as supplies tend to come in on the high side. Obviously, demand is also playing a role in that as well, and we'll continue to watch the global economy. But right now, oil prices, while they are off the uber lows, remain very low compared to where they were a few months ago, holding in at 67.18 to close out the week. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Now, check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com. You'll see that volatility moved lower as prices moved off of those uber lows that I talked about down here, 65 bucks a barrel. After we moved away from that level, we saw volatility close lower on the day. Lastly, let's talk about positioning and what are speculators doing? Well, since the middle part of January, speculators have been exiting their net long positions until this week. We saw them adding back or buying back to adding to some of those net long positions as oil prices hovering on those uber lows. So after a mixed week, a range of about $2.50, that's not much compared to what we saw the week before, which was about $5. Oil prices moved down to 65 and then rally off to close at just barely higher from last Friday at 67.18. And let's not forget, next week, we have the all-important March FOMC, which will be followed up by Mr. Powell's press conference and will certainly have a big effect on the global markets.